I guess to kind of kick this off, if you don't mind, kind of just giving a little background of, who you are, maybe what Allentown is to you, or where you grew up within Allentown. Are you a native here? How'd you find yourself here? If not,
All right, so I'm Taquil Mason, the owner of Good Guy Fashion. A little bit about my brand. So as I grew older in life, I found myself wanting to be like a fashion designer, and through fashion, I wanted to come out with my own line, and I named it Good Guy. And I built my brand based off of like a stereotype that the world may view the good guy to look like, but it's like I thought it'd be dope for me coming out with this white man with glasses and it just looks like cool and naming him the good guy when it's like I didn't look like him. But it's crazy that when I thought of the good guy, that's what I perceived him to look like. And that's what the world perceives the good guy to look like, but we don't all look like him. So my brand stands strong on like seeing the good in all people and not being so judgmental. That's what the brand is about. Allentown to me is like, I look at it like a blank canvas. It's like Allentown could be what you want it to be. So me, I know we have so many leaders in Allentown that if we was to stick together, we can build this town and make it whatever we want it to be. It's as simple as like us getting arena now that can hold concerts, that can bring artists out. It's like Allentown is so small, and I believe that we never seen big things. And then when you go out of the state, that's normal to them to be next to a celebrity. It's normal for them to be eating pizza with a basketball player, football player. So to me, Allentown is like a blank canvas, and I say that because it's like I'm putting my spin on the potential that Allentown has, and like me being a fashion designer, I think it's dope to come out of like a small city like this. Like I said, it's just like a blank canvas. I'm making people see the potential in it. So people always ask me like, why you don't open another store somewhere else? And I always tell people, no, I'm gonna keep this store, and it's gonna be the only store. I'm gonna do pop-ups around the world, and I'm gonna bring that attention to Allentown. I'm not
right?
gonna be one of those type of people that once I make it to where I'm trying to go to, that I act like I'm from somewhere else, or I act like I made it somewhere else. No, I'm like this is home to me.
Did you always dream of being a fashion designer, or did something push you in that direction? And what maybe opportunities were presented to yourself that, whether it's because of Allentown, or it's because of people you met in the area, or maybe it has something external to the area that allowed you to really open up that door and dive deep into your business?
So a little hit, like a little background about me. I'm originally from Virginia. Like that's where I was born and raised partly like half of my life. And then I moved to Allentown, but I went to half of fifth grade year out here too at Union Terrace. Only half the year I went right back to Virginia. Then I came out here to repeat my second year, seventh grade, because I failed it. And my dad was living up here, and my mom just sent me to my dad where it was like more structure, and she felt like I listened to him more. So even in Virginia as a kid, elementary school, middle school, I always been drawn on stuff, coming out with little things, hoodies. I used to draw on shoes. I was like one of those kids that was in Trexler putting the Batman on the Air Force Ones, the Mickey Mouse. So I always leaned towards fashion, and I think I was one of those kids that always wanted things that I know I couldn't get. So me knowing I couldn't get them is like, how can I put a spin on what I got on already to just create that buzz, create that attention? And I was just doing so. Fashion for me has been a thing forever. Even like I remember I caught myself like trying to rap one time. I was doing it for a little bit, but I knew that's not where I wanted to go in life. I wanted to be like, I'd rather be the one getting a rapper dress other than rapping these lyrics. You know what I mean? The fashion culture has always just been in me since elementary school, honestly. Like I wish I had like if I had MySpace and we can go back on that stuff, I could put like a bucket of just photos and it'd be like, wow, he really was doing this like so long. Like
Right.
he was destined to do this. Like that's what he's been doing it.
You're a small business owner. You're well connected here in the community. What are some of the things that Allentown brings out and presents to you that allows you to successfully run your business? Or I know you have a family as well, and bring them up in the community that you're living in. What are some of the positives or even negatives that you've run up against so far, and make them
I
happen?
don't. I always been one of those type of people. I don't look at like positive. Like I just do what I do, and I just keep doing it like that. I don't look at things like oh what I can't do in this town, and I just look at everything like what I could do, like or what I could bring to it. The positives for me is like I said, I have an audience where I'm in control. If today I would start reading books, my supporters would probably start reading books. You know what I mean? Because that's just the town we live in. we live in a town where it's like cool to say certain words, or it's cool to dress a certain way, it's cool to do this. We don't have our own identity, if you ask me. So with that being said, I feel like now if we was to talk about good guys, like, oh, from Allentown, that could be the identity of Allentown. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
we don't have that. Everybody wants to be from New York. Everybody wants to be from New Jersey. Everybody wants to be from everywhere else but Allentown. And just me, I just feel like I'm from Allentown. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just look at even me raising my kids, you know, in Allentown, it's cool to me. It's okay. It's what you make it. I'm not the type that's just gonna make up excuses or problems of why I don't want my kids to be here. Like, no, I was raised in it. I got through it. And I turned out okay for myself, and they could too. You know what I mean? Especially having the kind of man I am behind them, push them to do better. So I think it's all pluses with me. You'll never hear like a negative. Only negative I would say that Allentown has, it don't have its own identity.
What is an aspect that you feel like the city could do to be more appealing? And that could be for outsiders that are maybe looking into Allentown, and that could also be for the communities that we have here right now that maybe feel are underserved.
We have to start doing things that bring more attention to the town. Like as small as, let's just say, beer fest, as small as music fest, as small as the carnival. We have to keep doing things like that that brings attention to the town, and we have to start normalizing things like that because it's normal in other places but just not in Allentown. It's like this town is so scared of, I want to say, like failing, or scared of them not getting support, or it's like, is this why you don't do it? Is this why y'all didn't try it? I feel like even with the PPNL, the arena, more stuff needs to be going on in there. Not right now because of the pandemic, but let's just say when the pandemic is over, like,
Right.
all right, don't be scared if you just bring out one hip hop artist and you get a couple people arrested. Like that happens in other places. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Don't just because it happened in Allentown, you want to say, oh, see, we told y'all that y'all act up. Like, no. So keep doing it more and then it become normal. And people wouldn't act up because they're used to it. So I think we keep blaming things that we're not used to. So when y'all do let a rapper come here and somebody get locked up and y'all just be like, oh yeah, we gave y'all a chance and we're not doing it no more, it's because you don't do it enough. You don't do it enough. Like they're used to like country singers and stuff like that. And they don't act up because they see it all the time. So I feel like we just have to start utilizing what we have.
Yeah.
Like Hamilton was back in the day, from what I hear, Hamilton used to be a big deal. Like even with that Hess stuff, they said people came from all over the world.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. We gotta keep building. Like what we just got like a Dave and Buster's. You know what I'm trying to say? Why we couldn't been have a Dave and Buster's?
Right.
It's little stuff like that. But they tried it and look, it worked. We don't hear no drama in the Dave and Buster's. So it's
Right.
we have to start doing more things. We got to start normalizing some of this stuff and shining light on people that do have that reach or have that money to make it happen. I will always say, like, if I owned a PPNL arena, I would have put an arcade in it because it's constantly making money. You know what I mean? I wouldn't just put basketball games and concerts and comedy shows and make something to where people wants to just come to the PPNL arena because it's an arena. I like the what they're doing downtown in Allentown with the new apartments and stuff like that. It's just now you have to cater to that audience. Where's the activities? Where's the grocery stores down there? And don't tell me all the way on 7th Street if we're talking about like 6, if we're talking about by Hamilton, 5th and Hamilton and stuff like that. It's like we just got to do more. Honestly, got to do more.
Maybe you could talk a little bit about how you did start your business and more of the resources that for those that maybe may see this as we release that maybe have that inkling inside of them and they're like, I would like to start my own business too, and whether it's fashion, whether it's something else, what's that first step that was super helpful that you didn't know about the time, but now looking back you're like, man, like that really was crucial?
So to me, the first step is you got to do your research. Everybody looks at things as like rocket science until you get out and do some research and try it. It's not as hard as we think. It's the dedication, it's the time you put in to make your business what it is. That's what counts. But to start a business is not hard. It takes money, of course, and stuff like that, but you got to build it up just like anything else. So how I started, I would just say, like, I started with $200. I was just meeting the screen printers basically for the clothing lines, and I didn't know nothing. All I knew is this is what I would need. This is what I've been researching on how to do it. So I went to the screen printers and I had 3 things made. I had a hoodie, I want to say, and 2 crew necks made. I posted it online, and after that post, people bought those. So my 200 party turned into more than 200, and then it just went from there. But I just did my research, and when people ask me to this day, like, how do you do this? How do you find that? It's like Google is your best friend. And I try to tell them when I started this, nobody was helping me. Nobody told me what to do. Nobody told me how to go about it. I had to learn this on my own, in the sense, like, other than my father telling me like how to do like the business license and stuff like that. This day and age, we have so much technology that I didn't have then. Google it's just like Google. If you want to be a clothing line, you gotta learn how to find a screen printer, learn how to find your blinks, learn how to this and that. It's like it's like whatever's in your mind, type it on Google and it's gonna give you an answer.
Maybe you could just touch on some community aspects that are important to you. I know that, I think it was last year you were awarded a community action community leader, by the city and by the police department. Obviously, really great achievement, and that must stand to, the community activism that you have. So maybe you could just lend some insight on kind of what you're involved in, or what areas of the community that you may either really help with or could really wish for some improvement as we move forward.
So honestly, me being a person I am, I like to work with every community, all communities. It's just sometimes when I'm working with the community, I'm bringing that crowd to me sometimes. So let's just say, as far as like the Halloweens, the back to school, I make them come to my store to get this stuff so you can actually meet me, so you can see my store, so you can meet who I am and what I stand for. I want to say I deal with all communities, like, and when people see me like talking at like Building 21, that school, then somebody will reach out from South Mountain and hit me up, hey, do you want to talk? Somebody from Allen hit me up like, hey, could you talk to the kids? Their football team, they reach out. It's like, I'm not biased. I have no picks. I want to work with the youth all the way. I don't care wherever you tell me, that's what I want to do. My hand is not hidden from no community. So that's what I do, honestly. I get in front of it. I get right in front of it. I show the kids a different way. I show the kids, listen, it's possible. I tell the kids my story and let them know, like, hey, listen, I started over with only $200 and I turned it into something real nice. And, I'm still around. I'm still accessible to the youth. I'm still here. And I'm not leaving Allentown, in a sense. Like, I'm not dissing where I'm from. I'm not acting like I'm from nowhere else.
I guess last thing here is, do you have any last thoughts that you want to leave on? And do you have anybody that you think that we should connect with to do a similar type of interview?
I know Tefon Porter. He's a personal trainer out here.
I don't know him personally, so if you think that would be a good way to do it, if you don't mind making an introduction, whether that's text or email or whatever, Facebook, I'll be able to take it from there then.
Okay, yeah, Porter, yeah, he's definitely dope, and he deals with a lot of things. Like, even when I be doing those like back to school events, I'll be having certain people, if they want to, well, not certain people. People hit me up and be like, how can I help? And a lot of people like sometimes donate the money to fill those book bag up for the kids. So he's always, every time I did an event, he was always one of those people that was always with giving back and stuff.
Awesome. Well, yeah, would love to talk to him, especially if he's Allentown and focused on, doing his thing here. Would love to talk to him and really appreciate that insight and your time here today.
Okay. I appreciate it, bro.